Hi everyone, it's Dawn from Rising Dawn Yoga Studio. I wanted to hop on quick today and just do a little video for you about what is yoga? It's a question that's been coming up a lot because as many of you know, I am Rising Dawn Yoga is partnering with Noelle Karina Photography to bring you Body Mind Magic, which is a one-day women's retreat in New York on September 9th. I hope you'll come join us. You can check it out on risingdawnyogastudio.com. Go to the retreats page. There is a whole write-up about it there, and you can get more information. But one of the things that keeps coming up, because it is a collaboration of a lot of different modalities that we have brought in, and of course yoga and meditation being part of that, since it's my retreat. And a lot of women who have never done yoga before or meditation have been coming and asking questions about what is it, what type of exercise? And I, of course, cringe when I hear that, right? Anybody who knows me knows it's like, oh, no. So yoga is not an exercise program. It's actually, it's a lifestyle, I think, is the best way to talk about it. So yes, it's a practice. Most people think about the physical part that's done right here on a yoga mat, the poses, and that's really one slice of a huge pizza pie. The pie is yoga, and the physical part that you see on the mat is a slice called asana. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna come on here today, I have a little cheat sheet, and I'm just gonna talk about what is yoga, and break it down for you about what are the 8 limbs of yoga and what they represent. Because yoga is actually a path to liberation, freedom from suffering. And unfortunately, that suffering comes at the hands of our own mind and our thoughts. So that's what yoga is about, is taking this journey through all the discomfort, all the conditioning that we go through as human beings, from society, from our parents, from our friends, from our coworkers, our peers. And then of course, we have this inner dialogue that's always going on. How do we get past that? How do we find that self-love? Yoga is a journey of self-love. And I promise, if you give me time, hang out with me long enough, you will be loving yourself more than you ever thought you could. So what is yoga? Yoga means to join. It means that we're joining together the mind, the body, and the energy. Now, some people will refer to this energy as your spirit or your soul, and that's absolutely beautiful. Whatever your religious belief is, your faith about what that is precious to you, and hold on to that. That's very personal, and it should be there for you. And that's why yoga is not, a lot of people tend to think, oh, yoga's religion. No, it's not. Spirituality, not really. And it's actually something that is open and inclusive to all religions, all cultures, all genders, all sizes, whether you're flexible or not, doesn't matter. Yoga is your journey through suffering to liberation and freedom, and what we will call bliss or enlightenment. So here are the 8 limbs. This is something that was written down many, many moons ago by a man called Patanjali. And what he did was he broke down the path of yoga, the path to this bliss and enlightenment, through these 8 limbs. How do we come about doing that? So the first limb is your yamas. Your yama is, this is your moral compass. This is how you interact in society, out in the world. Well, there's standards, of course, that you hold yourself to, but the practices about how you speak to people, how you engage with others. And this is something that's extremely important. At some point, I would love to go through this and probably break down all the 8 limbs for you. I think that would be a really awesome thing to do, maybe one video a week. But for now, we'll just go through the 8 of them. So your second limb of yoga is niyama, and this is your personal positive duties and observances to yourself. So if you think about, yamas are what's going on with you in the outside world, and the niyamas are all about what's happening internally with yourself. So these 2 practices of yoga themselves already start you on this path, because you're examining the inner self. You're wondering, you know, okay, why do I have these beliefs? Why do I think this about myself, right? We all have a lot of negative self-talk that goes on. And of course, then that affects your yama, is how you interact with others. This can mean, you know, if you have poor self-esteem, if you have a lot of negative thoughts going on about yourself, well, that's going to influence the way that you are with different relationships, whether it's at home with family or with a partner, maybe with your friends, your coworkers. So there's a lot happening there. So again, yamas, niyamas. Now we're going to come to our third limb of yoga, and that is asana. So that's what everybody thinks is yoga. And again, small piece of the pie. So it's posture. That's all that asana is. It means posture. So these are the poses that you go through. Now, a lot of people tend to think this is, you go through it to build physical shape. Actually, it's not at all what it was designed for. So the poses themselves were pretty much designed to be unattainable in many ways by the ancient yogis, because they wanted you to go through on your mat in the physical process of feeling frustration, feeling challenged with your balance. How do I not feel balanced? And getting mad at yourself, right? Anger. These are all things that are an internal struggle that create suffering to us. So practicing asana, of course, is going to challenge you and help you ease through those different things that are going on inside yourself. Now, of course, there's a physical component to it, yes, and it does help you get in great muscle tone as you practice, but it was never designed for that. It was designed exactly for what I'm telling you. The other portion of why we practice asana in yoga is because it actually prepares the body to be physically strong and be able to withstand prolonged sitting for meditation. So everything that you're going through in the first couple limbs of yoga are what leads you into this path towards now getting into your internal true self, hearing the noise that's going on in the head and freeing you from it, so you can have that blissful state of peace. So now we come to our fourth limb, which is pranayama. So pranayama, if you watched my Meditation Monday this morning, we practiced a little bit of that. It's breath work. Prana means life force energy, and yama means to control. So it's your breath control techniques. We have a lot of reasons why we use different breath techniques and what type of physiological change they elicit in the body. And again, this is all meant to prepare yourself for that state of going in for meditation. So I'm hoping that you're seeing the path here. Now, your fifth limb of yoga is pratyahara, and this is where we practice sense withdrawal. So this is a yoga practice where we're actually starting to observe what's happening in our environment around us, our space around us, and we're kind of getting into how to learn how to withdraw from that so we can focus inward again and be prepared for meditation. So now we come to our sixth limb, which is dharana, and this is your focused concentration. When we're going into dharana practice in yoga, this is going to be where we focus on breath. So again, you'll hear me talk a lot about can we focus on just the air moving in and out of the body, the sensation of it. It's a lot of sensory going on in focused concentration. We also might use, energy. Where are we just focusing our energy in our hands? Can we just feel our hands? So these are all different ways that we could go into focused concentration. Now, a lot of people will talk about the fact that, oh, well, my neighbor's dog is barking, it's driving me crazy. The mind will label that as a distraction, but in focused concentration, in a practice of yoga dharana limb, you would go into the sound itself. How can I embrace the barking dog and actually, really dive into it? Like, where does the sound start? Where does it end? Where am I observing it from? So this is all part of that limb. Our seventh limb is dhyana, and this is where we're meditating. This is actually where you've already prepared your body. You've had your practice, right? Outside yamas, inside niyamas. You've gone through physical asana. You've learned to challenge yourself. You've learned to physically prepare yourself for sitting for meditation. Pranayama, we've been breathing. We've actually created some kind of change physiologically in the body to prepare ourselves. Usually cooling, calming, right? Breath techniques are very calming to the body. Now we've practiced, of course, sense withdrawal, pratyahara. We've come into focused concentration with dharana. And then, of course, dhyana. Now we're getting to meditation. We're sitting and we're meditating. And this is something, of course, near and dear to my heart. As many of you know, I'm a certified meditation teacher with Meditation Alliance International. I'm blessed to be a part of that wonderful organization, and I'm so happy they accepted me. I have over 30 years experience as a meditator. It's something that saved my life. If you go to my website and read the About Me, you'll find all about why. So then we come to our 8th limb of yoga, and that is samadhi. Samadhi is your stage of bliss, enlightenment, and inner peace. And that's something that I hope to share with all of you. So please come join us at the retreat. If you haven't signed up yet, there are still early access passes, which are a really good deal, so go check that out. Again, risingdawnyogastudio.com, click on the retreats tab, and all the info is there. And it's starting to rain on me. This feels absolutely beautiful. So very cool. So guys, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I hope it has cleared up what you now know yoga to be and got rid of all the myths and misconceptions that you might have had. And I'm just glad to be able to facilitate this to you, this information, and I hope to get to work with all of you at some point, whether it's just to practice together or to teach you. I would absolutely love it. So thanks again for listening. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care.